And good afternoon and welcome inside Nobby's Ballpark on a rainy Friday afternoon here in Cleveland, Ohio, as the Case Western Reserve University Spartans, who enter the day with a 14-12 overall record, 3-5 in the UAA, will be taking on the University of Chicago, kicking off a 4-game series with the Maroons. And for the Spartans, they will be facing the 11-12 Maroons, 4-4 overall on the season. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Schwartz, bringing you play-by-play coverage of today's game between the Spartans and the Maroons as we get set for the 4-game series. Weather should be a little bit better for the rest of the weekend, but we'll start off in some rain here today. It's been off and on for most of the afternoon since about 1 o'clock or so, hence the 30-minute delay that we saw. And we'll see Charlie Griffith on the mound today. We'll try to overcome a wet Friday. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get you the starting lineup for both of these teams, beginning with the batting order for the visiting University of Chicago Maroons. Braden Jurevich will be leading things off. He'll be followed by Eric Ridner, the catcher, and then the right fielder, Michael Gladden. It'll be Max Wiesner, the first baseman today, batting cleanup. Nathan Bay, the third baseman, hits fifth. Ryan Bajwani will be playing left field and batting sixth. Harrison Belden, the designated hitter in the seventh spot. Jack Sharp hitting eighth and playing shortstop. And Luke Weston, the second baseman, will bat ninth. John Butka on the mound today for the University of Chicago. And we'll tell you more about him in the bottom of the inning. In the meantime, defensively today for the Spartans, Tucker Greer at first. Second baseman is Calvin Gelly. The shortstop is Nate Arterburn. And the third baseman is James O'Connor. In the outfield, Tyler Stilson in left. Center fielder Josiah Harris. Matt Trout in right. Colin Poole doing the catching. And on the mound today is Charlie Griffith, the sophomore out of Columbus, Ohio. 1-3 on the season with a 4.01 ERA. He's making his 8th start of the season through his first 7 starts. He's pitched 33 2/3 innings, striking out 37, walking 13, opponents hitting .293 against him. And one of those such opponents, Braden Jurevich, stands in and takes a called first strike as the count goes to 0-1. Jurevich hitting at .322 on the season, 1 home run, 9 runs batted in. He's stolen 16 bases on 17 attempts. So certainly the Spartans hoping to keep him off the base paths, and a good start here for Griffith, who gets ahead in the count 0-2. Griffith has made 2 really solid starts at home here at Nobby's Ballpark this season, and hoping to follow it up with a third here today to get the weekend started off right for the Spartans, and doing so again in a pretty steady rain right now. Taken up high for a ball, and it's 1-2. The teams both motivated to get this one in today. No one likes playing back-to-back doubleheaders, so they'll get this one started. Again, a little bit late, but there should be enough daylight to get the game in here today, assuming we play at a relatively normal pace. The 1-2 on the way. And that's down and in for a ball, 2-2. Fastball at 81 miles an hour, dipped in. Changeup at 81 miles an hour. 2-2 the count on Jurevich. Here's the pitch on the way. Up high, and the count goes full, 3-2. So 2 straight strikes to start the at-bat, 3 straight balls to follow. That fastball at 86. And that stays up high, ball 4. Well, you can expect maybe a little bit of wildness today with a wet baseball out there, as that will bring up Eric Ridner to the plate, a .315 hitter on the season with 5 home runs and 17 runs batted in. Got Sean Donahue and Austin McGowan in the booth here today. Hi, guys. Always a pleasure. First pitch on the way, and that hit him. Fastball hit him on the foot, and there'll be 2 on quickly here in the top of the first inning for the University of Chicago. And the 3-hitter, Michael Gladden, stepping to the plate. Gladden, a .312 hitter on the season with 4 home runs and 14 runs batted in. They'll throw a rosin bag out there for Griffith. And we'll see if he uses that here, trying to get a little extra tack on that baseball. You know, tack is a dirty word now for pitchers with all the sticky stuff from a couple years ago. Seems like there's a different little controversy at the start of every baseball season, doesn't it? That's a breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. A couple years ago was the tacky baseballs. Last year was the torpedo bats. This year it's the ABS system. Well, that's more of an umpire controversy probably than anything else. The 0-1 on the way, and that one's fouled back, and the javelin launched towards the Spartans' dugout there as losing a handle on the bat was Gladden. And, you know, if you're the umpires in this situation, you're seeing Charlie Griffith let go of a few pitches that didn't quite find the zone. Now the rain has slowed down. You see the batter lose track of the bat there. And, you know, maybe if you're an umpire, you start thinking, well, maybe we need to be a little bit careful how much longer we let this game go if the rain does start to pick up again here. Again, the rain now looks like it stopped or at least slowed down significantly. And he gets hit by that pitch. And Griffith clearly struggling right now to get a good grip on the baseball. And that will load the bases with nobody out for Wiesner. Max Wiesner, the first baseman, a .269 hitter on the season. He's got one home run and 20 runs batted in. Chicago has had a pretty consistent starting lineup this season. Of the 9 players in the lineup, all but one of them has started at least 20 games this year. Of the team's 23 total. Early trouble here for Griffith. And that one misses up high for ball 1, 1-0. Well, it started out good enough for Griffith, who delivered 2 strikes to begin the game. Since then, just 2 of his last 9 have been in the strike zone. We'll see if he can find a way to lock in here with a day that clearly is going to be hard to pitch in. Outside corner for a strike, and the count evens 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Right in there for a called strike, 1-2. Well, let's see if Griffith can bear down a bit here with the bases loaded, nobody out, top of the first inning. Chicago's first 3 base runners reaching, all without the benefit of a hit. A walk and 2 hit batters on a rainy Friday afternoon in Cleveland. The 1-2 from Griffith from the stretch delivers, and it's just below the knees for a ball. Boy, that one came awfully close to tapping that bottom part of the strike zone based on what we're seeing on TrackMan here. And when you're struggling to find the zone a bit, those are the calls if you're a pitcher that you want to get. Right, Austin? Austin McGowan confirms. Down and in, full count 3-2. So the base is loaded, full count, nobody out, first inning. Griffith 15 pitches deep into his day, about to throw his 16th, and it's a big one. And it misses up and out, ball 4, and that will force across an early run. So an RBI walk drawn by Wiesner. That's his 21st RBI of the season. A run across, and that will send Steve Grunberg out to the mound here to talk to Charlie Griffith. And it might also get that Spartan bullpen up and working. Again, not an easy day if you're a starting pitcher to come out here and try to set the tone. With the weather, again, he's working with a wet baseball, albeit it appears the rain has stopped for the moment. But trying to avoid putting his team in an early hole right now. At least too deep of an early hole. So the meeting on the mound breaks up. We'll resume here with Nathan Bay at the plate. Bay, a .333 hitter on the season. 1 home run, 16 runs batted in. First pitch fastball outside for a ball, and it's 1-0. Nathan Bay from Los Gatos, California, Army-Navy High School, a sophomore. Awaits the 1-0, and it's just inside, maybe a bit high as the count goes to 2-0. And action will begin in the Spartan bullpen. I believe Oliver Miller has gone out there, I think. Trying to see if I see him warming out there. 3-0 now. Griffith trying to stop the bleeding. The 3-0 up high, ball 4. And that will bring across another run here in the first. It's 2-0 Chicago. 20 pitches, just 6 in the strike zone for Griffith to start the game. Ryan Bajwani, the 6-hitter now, the batter, batting at .255 on the year. No home runs, 10 runs batted in. And he's hit by a pitch. And that's another hit batter, the third of the inning. And Griffith right now just clearly struggling to find it and may not get much more time here to try to do so. So nobody out still. 3 walks, 3 hit batters, 3 runs across for Chicago, and Harrison Belden will be the batter. Belden, a .299 hitter on the year, 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Lefty-on-lefty matchup and a called strike to start off the at-bat against Belden. Belden, number 30, a left-handed hitter, first-year player out of Hermosa Beach, California. The 0-1 up high, 1-1. Called strike, 1-2. Well, again, if you're Griffith here, you got to just take a deep breath. Try to find something to get your team out of this inning with the least amount of damage possible at this point. A 3-0 deficit is overcomable. But you're sort of getting to a point where another run, 2, 3 runs here, and you're facing a pretty big early deficit. Ground ball, first base side. Picking it up is the first baseman, Greer. He'll step on the bag himself for the out, and that will be the first out of the game. All the runners move up, including Wiesner, who comes around to score, and it's 4-0 Chicago. Although the Spartans happy to get that first out at the very least here, and will try to keep working on digging themselves out. So Griffith with an out in his pocket now will face the 8-hitter, Jack Sharp, the shortstop. Sharp hitting at .246 on the year with a home run and 8 batted in. Up high from Griffith, and it's a 1-0 count. Believe that Zach Barnes up in the bullpen for the Spartans. He may have to do some heavy lifting here today. Just above the letters, 2-0. Two-0 pitch. 3-0. First base is open, but again, with the runners on already, you've got to attack the hitters here. 8-hitter at the plate. This is certainly not a situation where Griffith is pitching around Sharp at the plate. He's just struggling to find it right now. 3-0 on the way. And up high, ball 4, and that's going to be it for Griffith today. Well, Griffith has been so good over his last few starts for the Spartans, but a nightmare start to today's game. The bases are reloaded, 1 out, 4 runs in already, despite no hits allowed in the game by Griffith, and the Spartans will go their bullpen here early. We'll be back. 1 out, bases loaded for Chicago. New pitcher coming in for the Spartans when we return. Ninth hitter of the inning for Chicago, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Spartans will be Zach Barnes, the junior out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. He'll face Luke Weston, the second baseman, hitting a .244 in the year. First pitch from Barnes, just below the knees, although that one looked pretty good from up here as the count goes to 1-0. Now the 1-0 on the way. And that one misses low, 2-0. Barnes on the year, 2-1 through 8 appearances, a .464 ERA and 1 save. He's got 19 strikeouts, 9 walks in 21 1/3 innings, and a .284 opponent's average against him. That ball line, center field, base hit. Harris picks it up. He'll get it in quick enough to hold the runner at third in Bajwani, but Bay comes in to score, and it's 5-0 Chicago. Still with just 1 out here in the first.
Number 32, Braden Jarovec.
And that pitch misses outside for a ball to Jarovec, who led the game off with a walk. And that one's fouled away. 1-1. Off the fist, fouled away again, and the count goes to 1-2 on Jurvek. Little low, 2-2. Base is still loaded for Chicago. And that one hit softly towards second. Gelly with it to second for one, back on to first, and no relay throw. The throw actually goes to third. Jurvek, who's a speedy runner, no chance to throw him out. So that'll go as a fielder's choice. Another run in. It's 6-0 Chicago.
Catcher number 31, Eric Ridner.
RBI for Jurvek. And this will bring Ridner to the plate. Ridner was hit by a pitch and scored a run earlier in the inning. It's that one hard but foul down the line, 0-1. No. A tough first inning here for the Spartans. That ball in the air, deep towards left, chasing Stilson back, but he'll make the catch. And the inning is mercifully over for the Spartans as 6 runs come across for Chicago on just 1 hit. 2 men left on base, and we'll move along into the bottom of the first as the Spartans will look to try to break through here with Chicago leading 6-0 after half an inning of play. Let's go ahead and get you the batting order for Case Western Reserve University in this one. Leading things off is the third baseman, James O'Connor. Nate Arterburn, the shortstop, hits second. Tyler Stilson playing left field and batting third, and Tucker Greer, the first baseman, in the cleanup spot. Eli Westrick, the designated hitter, bats fifth. Calvin Gelly playing second and batting sixth. Colin Poole catching and hitting seventh. Matt Trout, the right fielder, bats eighth, and Josiah Harris rounds out the lineup, the center fielder, in the 9 spot. For the University of Chicago defensively, Max Wiesner is over at first base. Second baseman is Luke Weston. The shortstop is Jack Sharp, and the third baseman is Nathan Bay. In the outfield, Ryan Bajwani is over in left. Center fielder is Braden Jurvik, and the right fielder is Michael Gladden. Doing the catching today is Eric Ridner, and on the mound is the right-hander John Butka. Butka 4-0 on the season with a 3.04 ERA. That it spans 6 total appearances, including 3 starts. He's gone 26 2/3 innings, struck out 23, but walked just 1. And despite having that .292 opponent's batting average, which is a little on the high side, the fact that he pitches to contact has made a huge difference. He can get deep into games, limit his pitch count, and has been effective in getting outs. So we'll see what he could do here today against a Spartans lineup that will need a breakout day now, trailing by 6 after just half an inning. Butka, who wears number 14.
Leading off, third baseman, number 5, James O'Connor.
He'll step up on the hill. He'll start things off against O'Connor, Arterburn, and Stilson. Butka is senior from John Burroughs High School in St. Louis. An economics major at Chicago. Not a bad place to be an economics major, is it? That one's up high for a ball, 1-0. Over his career, he's 11-10 through 44 appearances, having the best season of his career so far as that one misses to O'Connor, 2-0. He pitched in 2 of the games against the Spartans last year, when in combined 3 2/3 innings gave up 5 runs on 9 hits. Fouled back by O'Connor, and the count goes to 2-2. O'Connor has the average at 300. He's been one of the better hitters in the Spartans lineup lately. 10 extra base hits on the year for O'Connor, 7 doubles, 3 triples, 19 runs batted in, but chases the high fastball there at 88 miles an hour from Butka, for the first out of the inning. So a strikeout there to start the day. And now Nate Arterburn will step to the plate. Arterburn sliding into the 2 spot for the Spartans. He's hitting a .267 on the year. No home runs, 6 runs batted in. 1-0 the count on Arterburn. Arterburn, the Spartans shortstop. Spartans did play a little bit better last weekend with Arterburn in that 2 spot in the lineup, as a called strike brings the count to 1-1. And a swing and a miss. Slider that dipped out of the zone brings the count to 1-2. Line drive down the line and right, and that's in for a base hit. So Arterburn, with a good piece of 2-strike hitting, took a 78-mile-an-hour slider and just went with it. It was on the outside corner of the plate. And that's a good piece of 2-strike hitting there for Arterburn. You always like when guys can take a pitch and then just kind of go with it. You use just your arms to kind of just poke the ball out there, and Arterburn did a great job of that there. So he's on base with 1 away. And Tyler Stilson will be the batter. Stilson hitting in the 3 spot today, hitting at .350 overall in the year with 2 home runs and a team-high 20 runs batted in. First pitch, 86-mile-an-hour fastball stays up and in on Stilson, and it's 1-0. Throw down to first. Almost got Arterburn leaning. Something to look out for here today. You might have a little bit more trouble than normal if you're a base runner getting back to the bag quickly, setting your feet, planting them, and getting back. This ball into the air, pretty deep to right center field. That's Jurevec out there, though, and the center fielder makes the one-handed grab as he shifts towards right center to put it away. And there are 2 retired now in the bottom of the first, and Tucker Greer will be coming up. So Greer at the plate, a .271 hitter. He drove in 3 runs for the Spartans in last weekend and singles on the first pitch over the head of the shortstop and into left center. Arterburn puts on the afterburners and pulls in there with into third on the Tucker Greer base hit. And so first and third now with 2 away. And listen, it's one of those situations, you're down 6 right now. You need runs when the opportunities present themselves. And so Eli Westrick coming to the plate here, and this is, again, 6-0 game, bottom of the first inning, but this is a big at-bat here right now. Make no doubt about it. Westrick awaits the first pitch and swings through it. It's an 0-1 count. Good fastball there from Butka. Westrick did not appear to have a good read on that pitch, and so let's see here if he can adjust. The 0-1 on the way. Line drive up the middle, through for a base hit. Coming in to score on the play is Arterburn. Stopping at second is Greer, and like I said, that is a big RBI single from Eli Westrick to get the Spartans on the board. It's now 6-1. Listen, again, I'm not saying you're going to tie the game on one swing there if you're Westrick. You're still down 5 runs. But there is no doubt pulling a little bit of momentum back in your favor there if you're the Spartans is huge. And now Calvin Gelly kind of has to keep it going here with 2 outs and 2 on. First pitch to Gelly. Down and away, ball 1, 1-0. Gelly, a .286 hitter on the season. No home runs, 13 runs batted in for Gelly. The rain appears to have completely stopped at this point, which is a good sign as Gelly hits that one softly towards first base. First baseman off the bag, underhand flip to Butka, who covers and will make the play for the out, and that ends the inning. So the Spartans get one back, a good start. A run on 3 hits for Case Western Reserve. 2 left on, and we'll move along into the top of the second inning. 6-1, the University of Chicago leading. We'll be back in just a minute. Gladden, Wiesner, and Bay, heart of the Chicago order, due up when we return. Six-one the score, second inning coming up, and Zach Barnes just trying to keep things where they are right now and let the Spartans bats, which looked active in the first inning, try to get to work. He'll face the heart of the order here, and again, one of those innings that if you're the Spartans in this situation, if you're planning on chipping away at this Chicago lead, the other side to that is you just can't allow much else in this game. And so that falls on Zach Barnes, the junior, who will begin his first full inning of work in relief of Charlie Griffith, who had a day that he will try to forget. That's in there for a called strike to Gladden, 0-1. Gladden was hit by a pitch and came around to score a run. You know, for Griffith, just a day, and they happen, where he just did not look comfortable out on the mound at any point. And in what has been a season where you can certainly make the argument Griffith has been, especially lately, one of the Spartans' best starters, if not their best starter in the last few weeks. He walked 4 and hit a handful of batters in that first inning as well, in just a third of an inning. And so now with an 0-2 count here, Barnes an opportunity to try to get a quick out. That one misses down and away for a ball, 1-2. Barnes threw 10 pitches to get the final 2 outs of the first. He allowed 1 hit. You know, again, if you're Barnes, it's an interesting approach right now, as you're going to be asked to get pretty deep in this game. Barnes not, you know, like most of the Spartan relievers, are guys who can certainly throw a pretty healthy load on the mound. They're not, you know, 20 pitch and out guys. Really, none of the guys in this Spartan bullpen are. The 1-2 on the way. Down and away for a ball. That was a good pitch, though. Slider, and that broke exactly how you want to break it with a 2-strike count off that plate. We'll see what Barnes comes back with here. I think, we'll see. You could try a fastball up and in. You could try to plant a fastball, sneak one by on that outside corner. Instead, it's a breaking ball, grounded up the middle, and Arterburn might have gotten a piece of it, but couldn't field it cleanly. And it bounces into center field for a base hit. Second hit of the game for Chicago.
First baseman, number 7.
And there'll be a runner on with nobody out. That was a slider that caught that outside corner. I think if you're Barnes, you were probably hoping to get that down a little bit more in that situation. But he left it just above the belt for Gladden to hit, and Gladden doing a good piece of two-strike hitting of his own there, just sent one up the middle. First pitch, fastball misses outside to Wiesner, and it's a 1-0 count. Wiesner drew a walk, scored a run, also had an RBI as the walk came with the bases loaded in the first. Runner goes, the pitch taken for a strike, throw down to second. The tag is in time for the out, applied by Calvin Gelly. Well, Colin Poole has done a great job throwing out base runners all season long. And he gets another one there. And boy, Colin Poole continues to impress behind the plate. For Poole, that is the 13th base runner he's thrown out this year on 31 attempts. Called strike, 1-2. You know, and it's been really one of the you know, if you're going to look back at this season, and again, the Spartans certainly not out of anything yet, but I think it's safe to say the season hasn't gone as they hope. But I think if you're looking for bright spots in the season, it's been the way the Spartans catchers have helped to control the opposing running game, not just Poole, but Sean Donahue as well, who's back behind here. Sean's thrown out 50% of the base runners against him, and those are just not numbers that you see at this level. 2-2 on the way. Fouled off, and Wiesner took that off of a body part. He'll shake it off. You foul a ball off your foot, and I'm not saying it doesn't hurt, but you got to do the little tough guy walk after that. You know, shake it off, kick your leg, take a couple hard steps. It's always one of those you got to shake. It's, by the way, easy for me to say I'm sitting in the climate-controlled press box today, and nothing gets fouled off of my legs up here, but not saying that didn't hurt by any means, but usually you see guys walk those off, and there's a predictable pattern to how it gets walked off. One away, bases empty, 2-2 on the way to Wiesner. Down and away, 3-2 full count. Fastball that time. Misses down low. Three-two pitch. In the air, right field line, deep of foul, and we'll get another 3-2 on the way. I'm a little surprised we're getting this game in today. And again, I know no one likes playing back-to-back doubleheaders, so I certainly understand that. But the rain has stopped here. As a swing and a miss at the slider that stays up high. I'm frankly not sure that's what Barnes wanted to do with that, but it worked out anyway. Sometimes you can elevate that slider and it kind of helicopters on you a little bit. But he missed up and out of the zone, and it worked out well. And Barnes with 2 outs here in the second. So 2 away, and Nathan Bay will be the batter. Bay, the 5-hitter in the lineup, walked and both drove in and scored a run his first time up. Fouls off the first pitch, fastball, and it's an 0-1 count. Now the 0-1 on the way. Called strike outside corner with the slider. Home plate umpires giving a little bit of latitude on that outside corner, although we've seen a tight vertical strike zone so far today, especially in that lower portion of the zone. The 0-2 on the way as Barnes looking for a quick inning. And it just misses off that corner. And the count on Bay goes to 1-2. That was another good pitch. Barnes just isn't getting bites on that outside slider. So, and there's a little bit of a pattern emerging, and we'll talk about that here in a second as the 1-2 from Barnes on the way. And that one's poked, shallow right. Going back is Gelly, and he makes the over-the-shoulder grab. We'll stay with you here, and I'll talk a little bit about it here with Barnes. But Barnes sets the side down in order, albeit works around a leadoff single with a caught stealing. And we'll move along into the bottom of the second, bottom of the order. Poole, Trout, and Harris do it for the Spartans. So if you look at what's going on with Barnes here a little bit, he's going when he gets ahead in the count, when he gets those two strikes. He seems to be going to that slider a lot, and that slider off the zone a lot, and then he'll work it back in with another slider. And I think that's a good strategy this first time through the order. But I think what Barnes is going to eventually be able to take advantage of here is that you could see the Chicago players have a little bit of a scout on Barnes and what he's doing, where those pitches are going. And so I think, as Barnes comes through this game, a wise move may be to, instead of going to that slider automatically with two strikes in the count, maybe you try to work the fastball in there, see if you can sneak that by. Go for the same spot, try to hit that outside corner, but see if you could get that fastball there instead. And, if for those of you who follow on Twitter, I think the account is called Pitching Ninja, where what they do is they do that overlay of major league pitchers and the way the ball moves differently, and you kind of get those two pitches together. You know what I'm talking about, Jackson. I see you nodding, Ellery behind me. But they show how the pitches move in different directions, and I think that's a situation where, okay, you're a hitter. You're thinking you're going to get that pitch to break off that outside corner, and instead you get that fastball stuck on that outside corner with two strikes. That could be a tough pitch, especially if you're sitting slider in that situation. So we'll see if Barnes maybe tries to do that here. In the meantime, 6-1 the score as we move to the bottom of the second. The Spartans trying to eat away at what was a 6-run deficit after just half an inning. Colin Poole stands in, and that breaking ball might have caught the lower outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Poole hitting at .327 on the year, 1 home run and 13 runs batted in. And cranks that one deep towards right, but should be playable. Reaching back and making the catch in right field is Gladden for the first out. And Poole is retired to begin the second.
Right fielder, number 14, Matt Trout.
So one away now for Matt Trout. Trout hitting at .308 on the season. He's got 5 doubles, 3 triples, 13 runs batted in for Trout. Some good, some bad last weekend for Matt Trout, who did get his fair share of hits. Always a solid defender in the outfield, good arm. If not mistaken, I think he threw a runner out at the plate as well in that Emory series, as that one misses down low. 2-0. That one hit up towards the middle and under the dive of the second baseman and into center field for a base hit. So a nice hard hit ball by Trout. 103 off the bat for Trout, and that's a pretty hard hit ground ball. That's one of those days the outfield is going to kill any ball that's rolling on it right now. It is so damp out there. But a runner on for the Spartans, and let's see if Trout's in motion here. He's stolen 5 bases on 7 attempts this season, and Josiah Harris will be the batter. Ridner has had just 24 stolen base attempts against him this season. 16 of the 24 have been successful, so he's throwing out about 33% of runners, which again is pretty solid. That ball misses a shade low to Harris, and the count goes to 1-0. Josiah Harris, Upper Marlboro, Maryland product. A .205 hitter on the season with 14 runs batted in. Scuffled a little bit last weekend down in Atlanta as he takes the breaking ball on the inside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Slider that time might have clipped that inside edge. Runner goes, swing on the pitch. It's bounced softly to second base. Throw goes to first in time to get the out. And there'll be 2 gone as Luke Weston stayed back and made that catch at second. Trout moves into scoring position. And again, I'm going to say this again. It may not feel like a big at bat in the moment, down 6-1 in the second inning. But when you're trailing by 6 runs early, you get a runner in scoring position. You got to drive him in and try to eat away at that lead. And that's up to O'Connor here now against Bucca, who struck out in his first at bat against him and takes the slider at the letters for a called strike, 0-1. O'Connor hitting at .297 on the year now. He's driven in 19 runs, although a lot of that damage done in the first 2 weeks of the year. That's taken down low for a ball. It's been a bit of an up and down first season of collegiate baseball for James O'Connor, and you can certainly expect that from a first-year player, but showing some signs of really solidifying himself atop this Spartan lineup. The 1-1 on the way. Swung on, ground ball, third base. Fielded cleanly there. The throw will go to first, but it's a bad throw, and that will get away. O'Connor safe at first, will move up to second. Scoring on the play is Trout. It's an error on the third baseman on the play. That was Nathan Bay, who had the errant throw. Trout comes in to score an unearned run. No RBI on the play for O'Connor, and the Spartans are down by just 4 now. It's 6-2. So an error on the play on Chicago is... And now Nate Arterburn, who has a base hit today, will be the batter with a runner in scoring position. And all of a sudden, this game could look a lot more manageable, although that one bunted back to the pitcher. Bucca with it. The throw is low, but the first baseman, Wiesner, makes the play, and that will end the inning. So Arterburn out on the play. We'll move along into the third, and it'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the Chicago order. Bajwani, Belden, and Sharp due up when we return. 6-2, Chicago leading, headed to the third. So Zach Barnes did a good job retiring the side in order. A little help from a caught stealing in the second. And now comes out to begin the third, trying to keep it at a 4-run deficit. The Spartans' bats have looked a bit more active today, and that's a positive sign. And again, if you're facing a 6-run deficit, at least they allowed themselves the maximum time in the game to come back from a 6-run deficit. So 2 runs back already. It's a 4-run game after 2, and that's pretty manageable. As that's fouled off, 1-1 on Bajwani. Bajwani hit by a pitch with the bases loaded back in the first and came around to score a run later in the inning. Again, a nightmarish first inning for the Spartans, but they've settled themselves somewhat now, and, you know, there's certainly a lot of pressure on Barnes here to execute on the mound. There's pressure on the offense, but certainly an opportunity with just a 4-run deficit now to find your way back into this game pretty quickly. The pitch from Barnes. And that misses inside, 3-1. Ball 4. So Bajwani draws the walk to begin the third. And Chicago with the leadoff man on.
Designated hitter, number 30, Harrison Belden.
One stolen base on as many attempts this season for Bajwani, so we'll see if he's in motion at all in this at-bat with Harrison Belden coming up. Really, for Chicago, it's Braden Jurevec who's the stolen base threat, and besides him, no huge stolen base threats in this lineup. As that one chopped foul down the first base side by Belden, 0-1. Belden made the first out of the first inning. Grounding out to first base. Did pick up an RBI on the play. Belden, the only lefty in the Chicago lineup so far today. Barnes is 0-1 on the way. And that's lifted in the air into shallow center. Coming over is Harris, diving, and he lays out to make the catch. Nice play in center field by Josiah Harris to make a big catch and get the first out of the inning, retiring Belden. Bajwani retreats to first, but that is a tremendous play. And, the dive itself, the catch, great. What in those situations that doesn't get recognized is that Harris had to go a long way to get to that baseball. But a tremendous play by Josiah there, and that is a big first out, and that kind of changes the scope of this inning a bit with Sharp coming to the plate, who takes that pitch for a ball, 1-0. And that one rolls between Poole's legs. But not moving up on the play was Bajwani. Sometimes what can happen in a game is that the catcher can throw a runner out early, and that might be just enough to make a team think twice about running against him. Swing and a miss, and the count goes to 2-1. And that might have been in Bajwani's mind, or sometimes even what you'll see is like, hey, this guy's got an arm. Be extra careful at first. Be careful with your secondary lead. Things like that a coach may relay. And so if you want to think about the domino effect a little, as that ball grounded to second, flipped to short for one, back onto first, double play, 4-6-3 turn by the Spartans. We'll talk a little bit more about the domino effect here. So I think you could draw a straight line from Colin Poole throwing out the runner at second last inning to Bajwani not jumping off the bag at first on a ball that rolled between Poole's legs there, and that allowed the Spartans to get out of the inning with a double play. And if you want to link together some occurrences, the old butterfly effect in baseball, there you go, case in point. 6-2 the score. Spartans coming up. We'll begin the third inning here. Bottom of the third. Stilson, Greer, and Westrick. Harder the order when we come back. You can open up windows if you want. In fact, I might get this one. What's the temp outside? Aziz, let me know. If it gets too cold, let me know. I'm going to crack this window, though. Okay. Don't look at me like that, Austin. How are you guys doing today? Life good? Good. Hurt? Banged up? Huh? Concussed. Emery? Welcome back once again. Case Western Reserve down 4, but trying to inch their way back into this one. The Spartans trailed by 6 after half an inning, and then scored a run in each of the first and second innings against Butka on the mound, who starts off Tyler Stilson with a pitch inside 1-0. Stilson drove a ball back to the warning track in right center field his first time up. And swings and misses there as the count goes to 1-1. Stilson now hitting at .347 on the year. And muscles that one out to shallow right. Coming in quickly is Gladden, who gets underneath it and makes the catch, one gone. So Stilson sends one off the fist into shallow right, and there'll be one away now for Tucker Greer, who continues to impress at the plate. A base hit his last time up. Tucker has been solid at the plate. He's done pretty good at first base defensively as well. And again, you know, you're going to have some growing pains as a first-year player, but Greer seems to have weathered them fairly well. Listen, you know, if you're a Spartans fan, you had to expect a few road bumps this season with the amount of young players in this lineup. As that pitch low for ball 1-0. And not just young players in the lineup, but players who might not have had a ton of experience over the last handful of years in games. As that one hit over towards the pitcher, Butka kind of corkscrews its way back towards Butka, who scoops and throws on to first, and there's 2 quick outs here in the third, and that will bring Eli Westrick to the plate. Westrick on the day, 1 for 1 with an RBI single, now hitting at .338 on the year. The RBI with 2 outs back in that inning was the 8th of the season for Westrick, who swings at the first pitch he sees, hits into the air, deep towards right, but Gladden settling underneath, and right at the edge of the warning track makes the catch. And it's a quick inning for John Butka, who retires the side in order for the first time today. We'll move to the fourth. 9-1-2 for Chicago. Weston, Jervik, and Ridner due up when we return. Nine 1-2 for Chicago as Zach Barnes, 39 pitches deep into this relief outing, trying to keep it at a 4-run game. Weston, Jervik, and Ridner due up. Weston 1 for 1 with a base hit. The 9-hitter had the first hit of the game for Chicago in what ended up being a 6-run inning, and takes the first pitch fastball inside 1-0 as he had to move out of the way of that one. Another one misses inside. And the count goes to 2-0. Zach Barnes trying to just keep hope alive here for the Spartans as that's up and in 3-0. Again, 4 runs, top of the 4th. That's a workable deficit. 3-0. Called strike, 3-1. I'm not sure Weston was necessarily taking all the way there, but regardless, takes a strike. I always think that's a good strategy, is that, you don't necessarily give the green light 3-0 to all your hitters, but let them be hitters in those situations. That's in the air, pretty deep, center field. Harris going back. Easier chance at this one than the last catch he made, as that's put away for the out, 1 gone.
Center fielder, number 32, Braden Jirovic.
So 1 away and back to the top of the order. 3rd time through the order for Chicago. And Braden Jervik, who stepped to the plate twice in the 1st inning, walked to lead the game off and came around to score a run and then grounded into an RBI fielder's choice for the 2nd out of the inning. Jervik takes that down low, 1-0. Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 1-1. Jervik had a nice cut at that one. Little bit low, and again, we are not seeing that pitch called a strike. 2-1 now the count. Fouled off, 2-2. Jervik is 6 stolen bases away from breaking the University of Chicago career record. Spartans will try to avoid him getting to that mark this week. 2-2 on the way. And the breaking ball misses outside, 3-2. 1 away, bases empty, top of the 4th inning. First of 4 scheduled for this weekend between the Spartans and the Maroons. Three-two. Chopper up the middle. Arterburn takes a friendly turf hop and launches one on to first in time to get the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 retired for the catcher, Ridner.
Catcher, number 31, Eric Ridner.
Ridner hitting it .311 on the season. Hit by a pitch and scored a run in the 1st. Also flew out to left field to end that 1st inning, although that flyout was a well-hit ball. First pitch on the way. Called strike, 0-1. He started him off that time with the slider and caught that outside corner. Tried to throw him another slider, but missed outside, as that one might have slipped out of Barnes' hand. And the count's at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 offering. Foul ball, 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Chopped foul and out of play. 1-2 still. Two other games going on in the UAA today as NYU will be at Brandeis. That was a 3 o'clock start. And Brandeis with a 7-4 lead over NYU. That game now in the top of the 5th. They're underway at Wash U between Emory and Washington University. And Wash U with an early 3-0 lead there. And if you're looking at big UAA series, that one has some pretty high potential to potentially decide the UAA championship. Maybe not right after the end of this series, but certainly if Emory can pick up another series win, they most certainly put themselves in the catbird seat. 2-2 the count, 2 away. Wash U came into conference play as the highest-ranked UAA team, but has scuffled a little bit. That one hit in the air softly down the line in left field, but foul. And the count remains at 2-2 on Ridner. In the UAA standings, Emory currently leading 6-2 in the conference. Wash U a game behind them at 5-3. Wash U split a series with Chicago, won their series against NYU. Emory with series wins over the Spartans and NYU as Arterburn dives. The throw to first in time and not running out of the batter's box was Ridner, and we'll see if he may be hurting a little bit. We'll see if he comes back out. Either way, the Spartans will head into the bottom of the 4th, trailing by 4, 6-2 the score. Due up this inning for Case Western Reserve, Gelly, Poole, and Trout when we return. Six-2, Case Western Reserve leading. 6 runs, just 2 hits for Chicago. 1 error in the game for the Maroons. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Spartans. 3 of those hits coming in the first inning. And the Spartans, who were down 6-0 after half an inning, just trying to work their way back into this one. Down 4 now with Calvin Gelly coming to the plate. Gelly grounded out to first base to end that first inning. We'll try to get something started here for the Spartans in the 4th. Swing to the first pitch, lifts in the air pretty deep towards the gap into left center field. Coming over and making the catch is Jurevich for the out. That ball hung up there just long enough for Jurevich to get into the gap and get to it. And 1 pitch went out in the 4th for Butka. Butka is not allowed a hit since 1 out in the 2nd. He's retired 5 straight now. With 1 out here in the 4th, we'll face Colin Poole, who flew out to right field in his first at bat and is now hitting at .321 on the year. First pitch. And he muscles that one down the line. Foul ball. Poole inside out at 1 there. Got an 84-mile-an-hour fastball right at the fists. And nearly dropped that one down the line in right field. Instead, it's an 0-1 count. And he chops that one foul. 0-2. Ball outside from Butka. Might have been a changeup that slipped out of his hand as the count goes to 1-2. Two and two as that one missed high. Line drive up the middle, base hit for Poole. He got a letter high 87-mile-an-hour fastball and sent it back through the originator for the base hit. And so 1 out, 1 on for the Spartans, and Matt Trout will be the batter. Trout 1 for 1 with a base hit back in the second, hitting at .316 on the season now. He came around to score a run as well in that second inning. The second and so far last run of the day for the Spartans. So the first pitch to Trout. Catches the outside corner there, a 73-mile-an-hour changeup, I believe, for a strike, 0-1. And had a little movement to it, too. Came back, caught that outside corner. The 0-1 on the way. And that one line over to short for 1, back onto first. The throw is a bit offline, and Poole is able to dive back in ahead of the throw. Sharp had a chance potentially with a better throw, but regardless, can't get the second out on the play. And with 2 gone in the inning now, Josiah Harris will be the batter. Harris grounded out to second base his first time up. Takes the fastball outside, 1-0. Harris now hitting a .203 on the year. Spartans would love to see Josiah get that back going. You know, if you want to know the potential that Josiah has, Matt Englander said this a couple years ago when we were doing one of our season previews. He said, listen, he goes, during our best seasons, our number 2 hitter is always been one of the guys that has pushed our offense. And during Josiah's first season, Josiah was the Spartans' number 2 hitter. Called strike 2-1. Just hasn't quite been able to capture that same magic he had in that year when he hit the first and, I believe, to date, only home run of his career in the NCAA tournament against Mary Washington that year. 3-1 count. That being said, his defense in center field has been fantastic this year. A great leader for this team as well. As the 3-1, and Harris swings, grounds it softly towards short. Up with it, although the throw in the dirt, but takes a couple turf hops to the first baseman, Gladden, who puts it away for the out. And the inning's over, so 1 out base hit for Poole, but nothing to show for it for the Spartans, and we'll move to the 5th in a 6-2 game. Chicago with the lead, and will send the heart of their batting order to the plate here in the 5th. Gladden, Wiesner, and Bay when we return. Spartans down 4. Both offenses have quieted down since the early going of this one, and part of that due to some pretty good pitching on both sides of the ball. Zach Barnes is done a good portion of the work here for the Spartans, and will begin inning number 5 with his team down 4, although Barnes himself is yet to allow a run in this game. And that one off the fists by Gladden, and the count goes to 0-1. Gladden's been on base twice today, hit by a pitch in the first, singled in the second. He scored a run. Down and out, 1-1. Gladden now hitting at .321 on the year. And he do-si-dos out of the way of that one as the count goes to 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And the off-speed pitch popped up, foul territory, first base side, long run over, but that gets over the dugout, and the count stays at 2-2 on Gladden, who will get another chance. Off the plate, and holding up on it is Gladden as the count goes full, 3-2. The rain, I believe, has begun to fall again, although relatively lightly right now. Again, easy for me to say under the covered press box up here, but looks light at least. Fastball fouled off, count stays at 3-2. In the air, deep towards right, going back, still going back, and coming over to make the catch is Trout for the out, who tracks it down between the raindrops for the first out of the inning as Gladden's retired. That is now 6 straight retired by Barnes, as Chicago has sent the minimum number of batters to the plate since that first inning so far. Again, a caught stealing and a double play mixed in there, but Barnes has pitched well in relief. So with one away now, Wiesner the batter. Down and away for a ball, 1-0 to Wiesner. Wiesner 0 for 1, a strikeout swing against Barnes back in the second, walked with the bases loaded, and eventually came around to score a run of his own back in the first. Swing and a miss, and it's now 1-1 on Wiesner. Chicago still with just 2 hits in the game, but scored 6 runs in the first inning, the majority of which crossed the plate without the benefit of a hit. 1-1. Swing and a miss again, and it's 1-2. Good slider there from Barnes, who Came on that inside corner with the slider and got the swing and miss there. And now let's see what he comes with a 1-2 count. Down and away, 2-2. 69 pitches deep for Barnes, who got to assume will be done for the weekend after today. So head coach Matt Englander certainly comfortable letting him throw until his day is done here. Not looking to save him. I do think it will be interesting to see if the Spartans attempt to bring Charlie Griffith back at any point this weekend. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice slider once again, working that inside corner now with the slider by Barnes, who's done a good job moving that pitch inside out today. And he found a lot of success there against Wiesner on that inside portion of the plate with the slider. And he gets the second out of the frame. So 7 straight retired now by Barnes, who has not allowed a hit since the second inning. And now Nathan Bay will be the batter. Bay hitting at .329, 0 for 1, a bases loaded walk and a run scored in the first. A pop out to short. Fouls that one towards the dugout, and the count goes to 0-1 on the third baseman. Wash U continuing to lead. It's 3-0 in the top of the fourth now in St. Louis in a key series. It's Brickley on the mound for Wash U, who is pitching well so far. Just 2 hits, and he struck out a pair today. For Emory, Zuckerman has given up 8 hits, 3 runs. Still in the game for the Eagles. 2 RBIs today for Song for Wash U. Spartans, of course, will see Wash U in the final UAA series of the season. That ball hit deep but foul. And Bay now behind in the count. 1-2 with 2 away, and the base is empty. Well, he turned on what I think from Barnes was supposed to be an inside slider, but that's the danger in throwing the inside slider, is that if that pitch leaks over the middle of the plate, you could get burned a little bit. And I think that's what happened there to Barnes. So now the question is, what do you do? Do you double up on that inside slider, try to come back to that again? It's been a good pitch for you this inning. Or do you try to get that fastball by Bay here? Let's see. 1-2, 2 away, the pitch on the way from Barnes. And he came with a fastball, top of the zone, and Bay fouls it off, and the count stays at 1-2. Try to speed the bat up there a bit, maybe. Now back to that lower inside corner with the slider. 1-2 pitch on the way. And that one's popped up. He came with the fastball. Greer coming over, and it will get out of play, and we'll get another 1-2. In the top of the 6th, Brandeis leading NYU 7-4. The Judges are not out of the race for the UAA championship to this point. They currently sit at, I believe, 3-5 in UAA play. Here's the 1-2. And the slider in there for a called strike. He caught the top of the zone with it. And Bay down looking. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Barnes. He's retired 8 in a row, and we'll move to the bottom of the 5th. Top of the order for the Spartans, looking to do a little damage here against Butka. It'll be O'Connor, Arterburn, and Stilson due up when we return. Welcome back once again. Case Western Reserve University down 6-2. Thank you, as always, for joining us here. We are without our center field camera today with all the rain out there. We should have that back up tomorrow for the doubleheader and then for the rest of the weekend as well to get you that center field view. But just one of those days where not worth it to spoil a camera on a rainy day here, as that one misses down low to James O'Connor. As the count goes to 1-0 on the Spartans' third baseman. Butka begins inning number 5. Is a swing and a miss there from O'Connor. Makes it a 1-1 count. Well, since that top of the first inning, the Spartans have certainly held their own in this one, but just that early hole, at least to this point, too much to overcome for Case Western Reserve. O'Connor with a 1-2 count now. And he's called over by head coach Matt Englander. I don't believe that was considered a meeting there. I think that was done under the guise of, hey, you okay, James? Hey, come over here. Let me take a look. Hey, lay off the high pitch, by the way. Okay, you're good. Get back in there. That pitch misses outside, 2-2. Foot okay? Okay, good. Go back in. You're good. 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 86-mile-an-hour fastball right at the letters comes up empty. Second time O'Connor's been struck out today, and one gone here in the 5th for Butka. One away now for Nate Arterburn, who takes the breaking ball outside, 1-0. 53 pitches here for Butka, who's done a good job managing his pitch count, which is what he does. He pitches to contact. Called strike with the fastball, 1-1. Butka today, 4 1/3 innings so far, 5 hits allowed, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. He struck out 2, yet to walk a batter. That one misses up and in, 2-1. Crank foul, 2-2. Another one fouled away, and the count stays at 2-2 on Arterburn, the Spartan shortstop. Nate hitting at .273 on the year. That one's fouled away. I skipped lunch today, but I found a half-eaten bag of goldfish in my pocket that my 4-year-old daughter left in there earlier. And between the fact that I'm only a day or two removed from Passover and I haven't had bread in for the most part over the course of the last few weeks and I'm starving, I don't know if a half-eaten bag of goldfish has ever looked so good to a human being before. But I think I've got my between-innings snack lined up here now. 3-2 on the way. Fouled away, and the count stays at 3-2. One of the many joys of parenthood is getting to snack again. Goldfish, pirate booty. Arterburn fouls that one off, and it will get out of play again. Fruit snacks, those are awesome. Can't go wrong with a good bag of fruit snacks. Three and two, one away, bases empty, the pitch to Arterburn. And another one fouled away. Good job by Arterburn to not only stay alive here, but to work a really nice at-bat. This will be the 11th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And he swings and grounds it back to the pitcher. Butka scoops, underhands it over to first base in time to get the second out of the inning. So an 11-pitch at bat for Arterburn. If nothing else, he made Butka work there after he'd been cruising for quite a little bit. And now Tyler Stilson will be the batter with 2 outs and the base is empty. Stilson 0 for 2. He's flown out twice. First pitch to Stilson is down and away for a ball, 1-0. Third time through the lineup now for Butka. Trying to retire the top of the order in order for the Spartans here in the 5th. Stilson got a decent pitch to hit there on the slider, but fouls it back, and it's a 1-1 count. And another one foul back. I think it's 1-2 now. I need to double check this here. Yep, 1-2. There we go. And a swing, and just getting a piece of it is Stilson there. And that caught the catcher, Ridner, who already was not walking great earlier, and I believe that caught him in a sensitive area of the human anatomy. And that's part of the perils of catching. And so a 2-2 count on Stilson. So Ridner, just some light applause from the Chicago faithful in the crowd, will step back behind home plate after recovering from that one. The 1-2 on the way. Down and out for a ball, 2-2. And that's in the air, deep towards right field. Back in the corner, over to get it is Gladden. And a step in foul territory puts it away for the out to end the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. A 1-2-3 inning for the Spartans in their half of the 5th, and to the 6th we go. Bajwani, Belden, and Sharp due up. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the order for Chicago. 6-2 the score. Maroons leading when we return. Ryan Bajwani set to lead things off for Chicago against Zach Barnes, who has been excellent in relief today. First pitch fastball. Called a ball, but that looked like it caught an awful lot of the zone as the count goes to 1-0 on Bajwani. Bajwani, a .255 hitter. Been hit by a pitch, walked as well today, yet to get in and bat in the game. That ball in the air, deep towards the right center field gap. Going back is Harris, but it's over his head and into the gap. Harris scoops it. He'll get it in. Stopping at second is Bajwani with a double. It's his 5th double of the season. It breaks up a stretch of 8 straight batters retired by Barnes. And Chicago with a man on in scoring position and nobody out to begin the 6th. So that will bring up the lefty Belden to the plate, who's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Bajwani leads from second. The pitch. Fastball outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Again, first game of a 4-game series between these two teams. The 0-1 from Barnes. Swing and a miss. That slider has looked great today. Chicago has done a good job of laying off of the slider at times, but that has been a good pitch for Barnes. No doubt about it. And what makes it dangerous is when he's locating it well. That's fouled away. Count stays at 0-2. I think earlier on in the game when he was missing off the plate to righties with that slider, you saw Chicago laying off of it a little bit more, but now they're forced to swing at it because he's dropping it in the zone a lot more. Oh and 2, nobody out. Runner at second. Barnes about to throw his 82nd pitch in relief. Drop that slide piece off the outside corner. Count goes to 1-2 as Colin Poole will come out to have a word with his pitcher. Not sure what the plan would be for the Spartans after Barnes here, although it looks like I may get my answer. Oliver Miller has gotten up and begun to warm. Rain picking up again a little bit here. Again, it's still more of a misty rain than a downpour like we had earlier, but it's been pretty steady now for the last half an hour or so again. 1-2 from Barnes. Belden awaits. And that stays a bit outside, 2-2. Two on the way. Just outside with the fastball that time, and that brings the count full, 3-2. Good job by Belden to work his way back into this count after falling behind 0-2. He fouled off a pitch and has drawn 3 straight balls. The count now full, 3-2. Nobody out, runner at second. Barnes disengages. Another 3-2 offering. Just inside, ball 4. That didn't miss by much, and frankly, Belden might have sold that as much of anything. You know, and again, we have the TrackMan system up here, and you can see pitches, and that was awfully close, it looked like, from TrackMan. Frankly, TrackMan had it, touching that lower outside corner. You know, again, it's interesting with the technology now at all levels and how that's going to change umpiring as Sharp gets that one down, foul. 0-1 the count as he tried to lay down a bunt to move the runners up. Sharp, the 9-hitter in the lineup. 1 for 2 today, an RBI single and a fly out to center field. Here's the 0-1 from Barnes. Sharp squares to bunt again. O'Connor taking steps into the cutout as that one's bunted foul, and it's 0-2. I think Major League Baseball now is on an inevitable march towards whatever you want to call it, an automatic strike zone, robot umpires, however you want to phrase it. But I think now that the ABS system has opened up the door to it, it's going to be really hard for baseball to not transition to fully automated ball strike calls eventually. That one grounded over to second. Could be 2 if they hurry. Flip to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. And the Spartans will get the runner going to second, but that's it. Belden out on a 6-4 putout. Bajwani moves up to third on the play. So runners at the corners now and back to the top of the lineup as Jurevec will be the batter. Or pardon me, the 9-hitter, Luke Weston will be the batter. I missed a spot in the lineup here. So Weston steps to the plate. He's hitting at .250 on the year. He's got a single and a fly out today. That one misses outside. Ball 1, 1-0. Barnes maybe starting to run out of some steam here. His pitch count up at 89, which is right about at as high as you've ever seen him, if not as high as he's been in his collegiate career. The 1-0. In the dirt. 2-0. On the way. That ball's in the air, right field deep. Trout gets underneath it, makes the catch. Tagging at third is Bajwani. He'll come in to score as the throw goes to second. It's a sacrifice fly for Weston. And Chicago, striking for the first time since the first inning, goes on top 7-2.
Center fielder, number 32, Braden Jurevec.
So the second out recorded by Barnes. Back to the top of the lineup as Braden Jurevec will come to the plate for the 4th time today, the 3rd time he's faced Barnes. Jurevec 0 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI. Pitch taken down low, 1-0. Not that that was necessarily an easy double play to turn early in the inning on the ground ball hit to short, but that's probably one that was possible to turn if you're the Spartans. And it developed maybe a little slowly, and one of those where you may be out of the inning right now if you do turn that one. Not sure that's necessarily fully fair on my part there, but just those little plays that you get the domino effect as a game goes on that, you know, you make a play here, it affects something down the road. You don't make a play here, it adds another run on the board. 1-1 on the way. That one just misses inside, and the count goes to 2-1. Barnes now up to 94 pitches. In one way or another, this might be his last batter here. Home plate umpires hearing it from the Spartans dugout right now. Ground ball, that's through for a base hit. Stopping at second is Sharp. It's a single for Jurevec, 4th hit of the game for Chicago. And there'll be 2 on, 2 away, and here comes Matt Englander. And I believe that's going to be it here for Barnes, who threw 95 pitches in relief and did some great work out there, keeping the Spartans in this game after a disaster of a first inning. Barnes was able to come in and did not allow a run until the 6th here, and he'll now turn it over to Oliver Miller. We'll tell you about Ollie coming into the game here in just a second. It's 7-2, Chicago with the lead when we come back. New pitcher on the mound for the Spartans is Oliver Miller, who starts the at-bat off with a ball up high, 1-0 the count. To Ridner, the catcher. Pick-off attempt down at first, right into the runner. Fortunate for the Spartans as Jervik got hit by that one, and that prevents it from getting away. Two and 0 count now on Ridner at the plate with Sharp at second, Jervik at first. 7-2, Chicago leading. We are in the top of the sixth inning. Steady but light rain falling today. Miller, the third pitcher used by the Spartans, making his 8th appearance of the year. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 9. Through 11 innings, he struck out 12, walked 8 opponents, hitting .267 against him. The sophomore righty out of Lorton, Virginia, St. Stephen's and St. Agnes High School. That one's popped up. Shortstop, Arterburn on the infield makes the catch. And that will end the inning. Chicago adds a run on a sacrifice fly by Weston. And we'll move along into the bottom of the sixth. Spartans back down by 5. It'll be Greer, Westrick, and Gelly due up 4, 5, and 6 in the Case Western Reserve lineup when we return. Seven to 2 the score. Chicago leading. Bottom of the sixth inning coming up. The Spartans sending Greer, Westrick, and Gelly to the plate here in the sixth. Time's starting to run short on the Spartans, who were down 6-0 early. But with single runs in the bottom of the first and bottom of the second, Case Western Reserve got back in the game, and certainly with some good pitching from Zach Barnes as well. Final line on Barnes, we'll give you that here in a second, is Butka is still on the mound for Chicago and delivers one down and away for ball 1. Final line for Barnes, 5 1/3 innings pitched. Greer fouls that one away, 1-1. He allowed 4 hits, 2 walks, struck out 3, just 1 run allowed, and a real solid effort by Barnes as the Spartans stay in this game, and certainly not out of it yet with 4 innings left to play. Up high to Greer as the count goes to 2-1. Tucker 1 for 2 today, a single and a ground out. That one down the line, and it will go foul, 2-2. Greer now came into the game, I should say, hitting a .271, so his average has gone up a little bit. He's got a .279 now for the season. Pretty good for a first-year player. Fouls that one back. I think Greer is a guy who is going to develop more power as his career goes on. He's a strong player. But sometimes you see the power come later in the career. And he gets a little tied up on an inside fastball there. Takes it for the full count, 3-2. 3-2, nobody out. First batter of the 7th, and Greer wastes one foul. Couple longer at-bats here for the Spartans over the last inning or two, but nothing to show for it. Hoping to try to wear Butka down a bit here. This is a Chicago team that has a team ERA of 8.37 on the year, as Greer draws the walk, and a nice at-bat there from Tucker. And he'll be on to lead things off for Eli Westrick. But, you know, if you're the Spartans, Butka is one of the better pitchers on this Chicago team. And you've fared fairly well against him. And so now a chance to try to keep it going here is bunting on that one is Westrick. Almost bunted it into the catcher's glove, but it's dropped in a foul ball, 0-1. But, yeah, you know, you get into a bullpen that's got an ERA above 9 on the season, and certainly if you're the Spartans, that's an appetizing prospect as Westrick has his second hit of the game, a single the opposite way. And so 2 on, nobody out. And once again, the Spartans can start to eat away at this one a bit.
Number 21, Calvin Gelly.
Starting to get to the point where if you're the Spartans, you know, and again, early on, we're talking a lot about how a run here, a run there can make a difference. You're kind of at a point now where you want to take out a big chunk of this lead if you can. Chance to do it here with Gelly at the plate, a .278 hitter on the year. Butka throws back to second, and I think that as much of anything is to try to see if Gelly would give away if he's bunting here. And Gelly took a little bit of an extra pause, looked down at Matt Englander, who was giving the signs at third base. Swings at that pitch, chopper hit towards short. The throw will go the short way to third in time to get the out. And so Gelly grounds into the fielder's choice. Westrick to second. Greer out at third, 6-5 on the putout. And there'll be one gone now with runners at first and second for Colin Poole. Poole 1 for 2 today, has his average up to .333 on the season. First pitch. Misses down low, ball 1, 1-0. In Waltham, Massachusetts, Brandeis has added on a run. As that one hit hard toward short, could be 2 to second for 1, and that will be it. No relay to first, so runners on the corners with 2 away. Gonna have to look at that again and see what happened there. Surprised there was not a relay throw to first. So now Matt Trout, the batter. Trout 1 for 2, a single and a line out today, hitting at .313. Spartans trying to get a run back here after giving one up in the top of the inning. Trout hits that in the air deep towards right field, going back, and it'll be over the head of the right fielder and off the base of the wall. 1 run into score as Westrick scores. Coming around third and into score as well as Poole. And the Spartans get 2 on a double by Trout. And Case Western Reserve back in this one. It's a 3-run game, 7-4.
Center fielder, number 1.
So Matt Trout, who, by the way, I just noticed, I'm going to have to check with my experts here. Is he doing a fishing celebration over it because he's Trout? There you go. That makes sense. I'm surprised I haven't seen that before. Thanks, guys. Well, a good double there, and 2 runs come across, and now Josiah Harris a chance to make it a 2-run game. First pitch is up high, ball 1. Butka's pitch count continuing to climb. He's now up to 84 in the game. Down and out for a ball, 2-0. That rain a little bit steadier now. And again, if this one's cut short, we do have an official game here. So if you're the Spartans, you'd love to get a couple more runs here before the end of the inning if possible. The high pitch count this season for Butka is 96 pitches. That came at Wash U in a Chicago win back on March 27th. So you got to imagine he is coming up on the end of his day here, especially on what is a rainy day. That's a called strike to Harris as the count goes to 2-1. The fastball velocity down a little bit. He's at about 83 now. 2-1 on the way. Down and away, ball 3, 3-1. There is action in the Chicago bullpen out over the wall in center field, and so we'll have to see if Butka gets another batter here after Harris, one way or the other. 3-1, pickoff attempt at second, and Trout dives back in. By the way, for Trout, his sixth RBI or sixth double of the season, he now has 15 RBIs on the year. 3-1 to Harris. And he was taking all the way, it appeared, and takes a strike down Main Street as the count goes full, 3-2. James O'Connor waiting out on deck. 3-2 count, 2 away, runner at second for the Spartans. Here's the pitch from Butka. And a called strike 3 with a fastball on the outside corner, and that will end the inning. Too good to look at there for Harris, who goes down looking, and will move to the 7th. The Spartans get 2 on a 2 RBI, 2-out double by Trout. 7-4 the score. It'll be the heart of the order for Chicago. Gladden, Wiesner, and Baydoo up when we return. Welcome back. As Oliver Miller warned for not making eye contact with the hitter before beginning his delivery. And so I believe just a warning there, not a ball issued, as his first pitch slider catches the inside corner for a called strike to Gladden. 0-1 the count. Miller back out on the mound after coming in relief in the 6th, getting out of a 2-on, 2-out jam, and now we'll look to keep this at a 3-run game and keep the Spartans in it here in the later innings. Holding up on that one was Gladden as the count goes to 1-1. Ball 2, 2-1. Welcome back as Oliver Miller. Fastball a little high that time. Just above the letters as the count goes to 3-1. Called strike at the knees. Slider, fastball, changeup. Fastball. 3-2 the count. And they'll warn Miller again for not making eye contact, and this time, well, it's not a warning, as that's the second violation, so results in an automatic ball, and Gladden will get second.
First baseman, number 17, Max Wiesner.
That ball at the end of the bat into right field. Trout in, and he'll make the catch. So Wiesner retired on the first pitch he sees from Miller. And there's one gone in the inning.
Nathan Bay.
Now bring up Nathan Bay to the plate, facing Miller for the first time today. Two and 0 now the count. That one looked like it caught a lot of the strike zone. And again, that lower portion of the zone has not been called a strike today by the home plate umpire. We've seen the Spartans hurt by that a few times today. Almost got the runner Gladden on that pickoff. Instead, he's able to just get a hand back in there. Runner starts to go and stops as the count goes now to 3-0 on Bay at the plate. Fly ball, right field. Trout in foul territory, makes the catch. Good job by Trout in swinging 3-0 there was Bay. And unable to produce, and the Spartans get the second out.
Ryan Bajwani.
So two gone now for Bajwani. Bajwani, a double and a run scored last inning, his first hit of the game, now batting at .268 on the season. Called strike to Bajwani, and the count goes to 0-1. Another throw down. Miller's got that athletic move to first base. You know, sometimes you've got guys, it's how do I describe it? It's just a quickness to first base that, you know, if you're a lefty, you could be deceptive. If you're a righty, you don't have that deception really. And so it's about getting the ball there quickly, and Miller's got that. I don't know if you want to call it a compact move, but just not a lot of wasted motion. And when you can kind of just turn, get the ball there quickly, even as a righty, you could catch some runners by surprise. 0-2. Popped up. Shallow right. Trout there. Underneath it. Much easier play for him this time. And Trout doing all the heavy lifting between the bottom of the sixth and the top of the seventh. He makes all three outs in the field after doubling in 2 runs in the bottom of the sixth, and the Spartans keep it at a 3-run game heading into the bottom half of the seventh. Top of the order for the Spartans, who are down by just 3. O'Connor, Arterburn, and Stilson when we return. New pitcher on the mound for the University of Chicago is Lucian Reed. Lucian, the first year out of Laguna Beach, California, Laguna Beach High School. Anyone else here old enough to remember the old MTV show, Laguna Beach? No? No? Todd, over our PA announcer, is too old to remember the Laguna Beach show. That falls right into my time frame, I guess. Glory years of MTV there. Anyway, Reed on the season, 1-0 through 4 appearances with a 7.71 ERA. 2 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a 3.64 average. Against taking over here for Butka with his team up 3-7-4 the score, and the Spartans will send the top of the lineup to the plate, and Reed delivers a first pitch fastball down the middle that O'Connor can't catch up with as the count goes to 0-1. Now the 0-1 on the way. Down and away, 1-1. So my family just tuned in from back home, and they missed the whole story about me finding the half-eaten bag of my daughter's goldfish in my pocket and me eating that for lunch. And yes, Marcy, my wife, can yell at me later for not having lunch. Don't worry, she will. But unrelated, the kids did just text. My wife texted me and said, hey, can you give the kids a shout-out, and we're supposed to tell you that we're eating pizza. So not only are, and I will give them the shout-out, hi, Cody, hi, Danielle, but do you have to rub in the fact that you're eating and I'm starving right now? Come on, guys. Save me a slice for when I get home, will you? 1-2 on the way from Reed. 2-2 the count. 7-4 the score. The Spartans were down big early and have done a good job to keep this game manageable, but haven't quite been able to climb over the top of the hill yet. Trying to start things off here with Reed as the 2-2, and he skips that one away, and the count goes full, 3-2. It's been a pretty steady, albeit mostly light rain throughout the latter half of this game after it rained for pretty much the start of the game as well. We had maybe a couple of dry innings in there. Again, apologies. We did not set up the center field camera today with the rains predicted throughout the game. 3-2 on the way. And that ball hit in the air pretty deep towards left center field, back towards the wall, reaching out in front of the track and making a basket catch while backtracking is the left fielder Ryan Bajwani for the first out. A good rip there from James O'Connor, 97 off the bat. Went about 329 feet towards that left center field gap, but a good job by Bajwani to track it down for the first out. So one retired, and now Nate Arterburn will be the batter for the Spartans. Arterburn, a hit back in the first inning, a run scored as well for Nate. He's 1 for 3 in the game. First pitch from Reed stays up high, 1-0. Final line for John Butka for Chicago. Another nice effort for him. Currently in line to improve to 5-0 should the score hold. As the pitch on the way from Reed, and that one sails up high. 2-0. Butka scattered 7 hits over 6 innings, walked just 1. He struck out 3. That walk was just the second walk he's issued this season. So he had himself another nice outing. Now the 2-0 on the way. And misses down and away, ball 3, 3-0. Well, you may have to recalibrate here at the plate if you're the Spartans. Going from the extremely accurate Butka to Reed, who in limited appearances this season has walked 2 batters this year. Make it 3. That misses inside to Arterburn. It's a 4-pitch walk. Again, not an easy day to pitch, and the Spartans will now have the tying run in the on-deck circle with Tyler Stilson coming to the plate. Stilson hitting at 340. He's looking for his first hit of the game. He's flown out 3 times today, and that might be it for Reed. Chicago head coach Kevin Tyrell comes out to the mound. And let's see if he makes the call to the pen here. And it looks like he will. He'll take the ball from Reed. We'll get a pitching change. Top of the 7th, Spartans with a man on, down 3. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back once again, Case Western Reserve University. We'll try to mount the comeback here. After trailing by as many as 6 in this game, they're down 3 now, 7-4 with the tying run in the on-deck circle, and a new pitcher on the mound for Chicago is the junior out of Huntington Woods, Michigan, Cranbrook High School. That's David Flanagan. Flanagan, a 6'1", 200-pound righty. On the season, Flanagan, 8 appearances out of the pen, a 5.74 ERA through 15 2/3 innings. He struck out 10, walked 7, opponents hitting .281 against him. Big chance here for the Spartans. Trying to shift the momentum with Tyler Stilson at the plate, who takes ball 1-1-0. 7-4 the score. Flanagan comes set again from the stretch, working from the first base side of the rubber. And misses low with that one. And the count goes to 2-0. You could see Ridner did not like the call, the catcher. But that is how that pitch has been called all day. Here's the 2-0 on the way. And it's elevated high in the air to left field. Coming in to get it is Bajwani, and now a few steps in makes the catch for the out. And there's 2 gone here in the 7th. So 2 away for Tucker Greer.
First baseman, number 24, Tucker Greer.
Greer's been on base twice today, including a base hit in the first. Drew a walk his last time up. Just again, the second walk issued this season by Chicago starter John Butka. Pickoff attempt at first, not in time. Greer, a .279 hitter on the season. Big at bat for him here with Eli Westrick, who has a pair of hits waiting out on deck. And he swings and fouls off the breaking ball. And it's 0-1 on Greer. 73-mile-an-hour slider. Tried to throw him that back foot slider. The 0-1 on the way. Runner goes. The pitch taken low for a ball. Throw down to second is not in time. And staying on the bag is Arterburn. So stolen base for Arterburn, who moves into scoring position with 2 away, and I believe a 1-1 count at the plate. So Greer chance to drive in Arterburn here with a base hit. Again, when you get these opportunities, when you're trying to chip away at a lead, you can't let them slide by. Down low. Two and one now, the count on Greer. See if he's attacking here, 2-1. Should get a good pitch to hit. And he fouls that one off. 82-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees. Count is at 2-2. Greer wants a timeout. I think Matt Englander called a timeout. Greer kind of stepped out of the batter's box and kind of looked down at Coach Englander and seemed a little bit flustered. And so Englander, I think wisely so, calling the timeout there to call Greer over. So a couple words of advice there. Don't believe they called that a meeting either. So maybe they were just checking Greer to make sure he was okay after fouling one off his foot. It's a 2-2 count on Greer with 2 outs and a runner at second. Down and away, full count 3-2. Flanagan has thrown just 3 of his first 8 pitches in the strike zone. Looking for one more strike here against Greer with Westrick waiting out on deck, the 3-2 on the way. And he gets one off the fist, fouls it back. The count will stay at 3-2. Brandeis now leading 10-2 in the bottom of the 8th against NYU. Wash U still up 3-0 on Emory. That game in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 pitch. Swung on ground ball towards the hole. Fielded by the third baseman Bay. Throw on the run is on target. And in time to get the out. And that ends the inning. A good play by Bay. Might have saved a run with that one. And will move to the 8th. It's 7-4. Chicago still leading over Case Western Reserve. Due up this inning for the Maroons. Bottom of the order. Belden, Sharp, and Weston when we come back. First pitch grounded over to first base. They'll say foul ball, I believe. So a foul ball. And the count goes to 0-1 on Belden. Oliver Miller still out on the hill for the Spartans. He's thrown 17 pitches through the first inning and a third of work. Third pitcher used today by the Spartans. So far, so good for Miller. Worked around the leadoff walk last inning to keep it at a 3-run game. Swing and a miss now by Belden, and the count goes to 0-2. Well, the Spartans' bullpen has certainly not been the issue so far today. It's been pretty solid work from Barnes and now Miller. Fouled away by Belden. Count stays at 0-2. Again, the Spartans have had a chance in this one. They've certainly had some base runners. They've left 6 on base today. But after what was a disastrous start to the game, Case Western Reserve settled in nicely and has stayed in the periphery of this one. They're down just 3 with 6 outs to work with. One and two the count. Breaking ball misses outside that time. Might have thrown that slider a little too hard there, as it didn't quite, I think, have the break he was hoping for. Stayed outside, and the count goes to 2-2. And just misses off that outside corner, and the count goes full 3-2 now on Belden. Poole came up looking to throw. Instead, the count full. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 87 with the fastball right on that outside corner from Miller for strike 3. So Belden retired on the strikeout. For Miller, that is his first strikeout of the game. 4th strikeout by Spartan starting, or pardon me. Let me try that one more time here. 4th strikeout by Spartan pitching today. And a swing and a miss there by Sharp to bring the count to 0-1. Sharp reached on a fielder's choice his last time up, hitting a .238 on the season. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Miller cooking that fastball here this inning. That was at 88. And he has just blown that by some of these Chicago hitters. Chicago's coming off one of the best seasons in program history last year. Boy, could they pitch it last season. And on the outside corner with the fastball, strike 3. Sharp down looking. 2 gone, back-to-back strikeouts for Miller.
Batting ninth, second baseman, number 5, Luke Weston.
So that'll bring up the 9-hitter Weston, and first pitch swinging, hits it in the air, down the line and right. Trout there along the foul line, makes the catch in foul territory, and that will end the inning. A quick inning for Oliver Miller. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Westrick, Gelly, and Poole due up when we return for the Spartans. Well, Spartans starting to run out of time a bit here. Down 3 with 6 outs to play with still. Flanagan back out on the mound for Chicago. As Westrick at the plate for the Spartans. 2 hits already today and takes the first pitch slider on the upper outside corner for a called strike 0-1. Flanagan came in, got the final 2 outs of the previous inning of the 7th with the tying run in the on-deck circle. And Westrick went around there, and the count goes to 0-2. I think Westrick was asking the home plate umpire if he would check down at first base instead, but he called it already, and so a strike it is. Now 0-2 on Westrick with nobody out to begin the 8th. Holds up on that pitch, and it's a 1-2 count. One and two. Ground ball, third base side. It's through for a base hit. See if Westrick goes for 2. He will, and will come in safely as he slides into the bag with a double. And so a leadoff double for Eli Westrick puts a runner on for the Spartans, puts the potential game-tying run back in the on-deck circle, and will bring Calvin Gelly to the plate with nobody out. Gelly hitting a .275 on the season, 0 for 3 today. See if Gelly can keep it going here. Gelly on the season, 22 hits and 80 at-bats now. Takes that pitch up and in, ball 1. 13 runs batted in for Gelly, who has 4 doubles and a triple among those 22 hits this year. Now the 1-0 on the way. And he wastes one foul, 1-1. Got a fastball right down the heart of the plate there, but couldn't quite adjust in time. He was a little behind on it. One 1. Ground ball hit towards third. Runner holds. The throw goes to first. And in time to get the out. As Gelly grounds out on the play. 1 away now.
Catcher number 9, Calvin Poole.
And now Colin Poole will be the batter. I think the umpires are going to talk here, and I think what Matt Englander is asking is if either of them saw the first baseman take his foot off the bag, and they'll say he held it. I was questioning that a little bit as well. I thought maybe there was a chance that Wiesner did not hold that bag, but where the first base umpire was positioned, and I'm calling him the first base umpire, it's really the field umpire in a 2-man crew, he was all the way over in the middle of the field. He was not going to be able to see that anyway. And so I think the right call there is Colin Poole will be the batter who takes the first pitch up high, ball 1. Slider misses. That one broke before the plate and brings it to a 2-0 count on the Spartan backstop. Poole with a hit today. He is, or pardon me, thought he had a hit today. Where am I looking? I'm looking at the wrong screen here. Called strike. It's 2-1. Poole does have a hit today. 1 for 3 with a run scored. That's what I get for not eating lunch. And a swing and a miss there. Big cut from Poole, who got tied up on an inside fastball, 2-2. Two, 1 away. Here's the pitch. Down and in. 82-mile-an-hour fastball just misses, and the count goes full, 3-2 on Poole. Poole out of Berthoud, Colorado. The first-year catcher, great freshman year for him. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 82-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees. Poole couldn't make contact, and there are 2 gone. So the Spartans in danger of squandering a Leadoff double by Westrick here to begin the 8th, and he'll be up to Matt Trout. Trout has been on base twice today, a single and a run scored back in the 2nd, a 2 RBI double his last time up in the 6th, and another big at bat here for Trout. First pitch. Taken up high, 1-0. Trout now hitting at .321 on the year. The 1-0 pitch. And Trout can't hold on that breaking ball, and the count goes to 1-1. The Spartans have been fooled by that slider today from Flanagan a few times. Seen some bad swings against him. And boy, he's got a good mix of pitches between that slider and the fastball. 1-1. And Trout pops it up. Shallow right field, charging in is Gladden. He puts it away for the out. And that will end the inning. The Spartans get a leadoff double by Eli Westrick, but he's left standing at second base by the end of the inning, and we'll move to the 9th. It's a 3-run game, 7-4, Chicago leading. Top of the order for the Maroons. Jurevich, Ridner, and Gladden due up when we return here at Nobby's Ballpark. Solid relief effort today for Oliver Miller, who's looking to keep it at 3 runs heading into the bottom of the 9th for the Spartans' last opportunity. Chicago with the top of the order looking to add on here. For Miller, 2 1/3 innings, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. First pitch on the way to Jurevich, the leadoff hitter for the Maroons, and it's swing and a miss, 0-1 the count. Just 29 pitches so far for Miller, and this is as good as we've seen him all year long so far today. Well, the Spartans should get some better weather the next 2 days, as that's down low, ball 1, 1-1. Tomorrow, I think we're looking at a high in the mid-50s, I believe. Yeah, 51 high tomorrow, so maybe a little chilly tomorrow. Called strike 1 and 2. Sunday, maybe a little chance of rain around midday, but temperature is supposed to get up into the 70s on Sunday. So that's about as good as you can ask for here at Cleveland this time of the year. I was talking with the Chicago coach, Kevin Tyrell, before the game, and I was joking. Last time Chicago came here, before the first doubleheader of what was scheduled to be back-to-back doubleheaders, the Spartans had to dig the field out from under about 4 inches of snow. 2-2. Hard hit ball, first base. Right there is Greer. It hits the ground, but he'll jog it to the bag himself. And Jurevich's retired. 1 gone here in the top of the 9th. They'll bring Ridner to the plate. If you remember that doubleheader, the Spartans, the game started a little late. The Spartans dug themselves out. They were able to play that day, but And Jack Anderson, in that doubleheader, caught the first 17 innings of the doubleheader and then took the mound for the final inning of the doubleheader and closed out the game. And one of probably the more remarkable performances I've seen in what really became very typical Jack Anderson style heroics. 1-0. Popped up, fouling out of play. I could turn to the guys on the team who were in the booth today. How much shoveling did Jack actually do that day? Was it, yeah, it's a I mean, Jack was like in his, 6th year already in the program at that point. I'm sure, he let all the young guys do it, right? 1-1 on the way. That ball into the air, pretty deep to left field. Going back is Stilson, still going back, and it's over his head. It hits off the base of the track. The throw will come in and gets away a bit. The Spartans didn't exactly handle that well, but that was Ridner, who is not running well at all, and it ends up being a single off the wall in left center field. Well, we noticed that earlier, that Ridner is just not running very well right now. And again, trust me, this is no criticism on Ridner. We saw this from Dane Camphausen last year when Dane was hurt at times for the Spartans and just, his bat was too valuable to not put in the lineup. And so there were times where he wasn't asked to run hard on plays like that. As that pitch above the head of Gladden 1-0. And my guess is it's similar here for Ridner, is that Chicago is not asking him to run even on plays like that. He's just too valuable in the lineup to take out. That one misses inside, 2-0. So Miller has let 2 fastballs go here. Has not been particularly close on either. 2-0. Let her high strike. 2-1 the count. That one from here looked like it was a little bit high, and TrackMan concurs. About 3 baseballs above the strike zone there. Again, it's not trying to be critical of the umpire here, but we do have the technology. The umpire doesn't. So that one grounded over towards short. Arterburn with it. Throws to first for 1, and they'll get the runner caught up. Tag is applied, and you talk about playing 3-dimensional chess there. My gosh, what a heady play by Arterburn. That is the old 6-3-4 double play turned by the Spartans. And again, that is a just tremendous play by Arterburn, knowing that the runner, Ridner, was not running hard. So he gets the shore out at first, knowing that was going to be the more difficult out of the play. And then they were able to get the runner at second. And again, that's good baseball right there. Smart baseball. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th, see if the Spartans can carry some of that smart baseball over here. Harris, O'Connor, and Arterburn due up when we return. Last chance for the Spartans, down 3 against David Flanagan. Flanagan looking for the save. Assuming he stays in to close it out, it would be his first save of the season. Spartans trailing 7-4, and a pinch hitter coming up for Case Western Reserve will be Jackson Knutson.
Freshman from Andover, Minnesota, number 7, Jackson Knutson.
Knutson hitting at 182 on the year, but he's swung the bat better than the average would imply. Squares to bunt there, pulls it back, and takes ball 1-1-0. Knutson, the lefty. Awaits the 1-0 pitch and takes a fastball down the middle there for a called strike, 1-1. See if Knutson can get something started here for the Spartans. He's had a little bit of a clutch bug going on this year. He's swung the bat well in these kinds of situations. That one skips in there for a ball, 2-1. Knutson, 6 hits and 33 at-bats, all of those singles except for an inside-the-park home run against Washington and Jefferson earlier in the year. Takes a called strike there, and the count's now 2-2. Shortstop Sharp takes an extra step towards third as that's in there for a called strike 3. Knutson down looking for the first out. That did catch for a strike there. You know, you got to protect the plate in that situation, but Knutson, who was probably watching on the bench all day as those low strikes weren't called, and again, that was clearly a strike, maybe even a bit higher than some of those borderline calls. But you can understand why he'd be hesitant to swing at that pitch. They'll bring up James O'Connor, looking to turn around an 0-for-4 day. Takes the first pitch up high, ball 1. Outside, 2-0. Well, if you're the Spartans, you got to try to keep this game going for Tyler Stilson, who is in the hole right now. Low again, 3-0. And again, O'Connor here has had the green light to swing 3-0 this year, but you got to be taking all the way here. The Spartans need base runners. 3-0 on the way. And it's a called strike. Good take there by O'Connor, so he could be a hitter here now. An 82-mile-an-hour fastball right on the black. Didn't catch much of the strike zone, but did catch just enough. Brandeis with a 10-4 win over NYU. That game is final. 3-1 on the way. Inside, ball 4, and the Spartans have a base runner. It brings the potential game-tying run to the on-deck circle. And we'll bring Nate Arterburn to the plate, who's been on base twice today with a single and a walk. Well, Arterburn has played great defense today. He had the really heady play earlier in the game, in fact, last inning, to turn the double play. He squares to bunt here, pulls it back, and he's hit by the pitch. And that will bring the potential game-tying run to the plate in the form of Tyler Stilson. Okay. So Arterburn squaring to bunt, pulling it back, and gets hit by the pitch, and he's happy to take that. It brings Stilson to the plate now as the potential game-tying run. Stilson hitting at .337 on the season, but 0-for-4 in this one. First pitch. Outside, ball 1, 1-0. And we will get a meeting on the mound here as the catcher, Ridner, will come out to have a talk with his pitcher, Flanagan. As far as I can tell, well, maybe there is someone warming up in that Chicago bullpen. It's hard with the clouds out. You kind of have to, from our vantage point here, look through the blue outfield netting to try to see who's out there. And it does look like someone's warming, but I could not even begin to guess what number that is. 1-0 the count on Stilson with 2 on and 1 away in the ninth in a 3-run game. The 1-0. And it swung on, grounded through the whole base hit. They will hold O'Connor at third as the ball is bobbled, but everyone will stay as that one goes all the way to the backstop. And it's finally stopped. Again, the Spartans will play conservatively here, and rightfully so. But that will load the bases and bring the potential game-winning run to the plate in the form of Tucker Greer with one out.
Number 24, Tucker Greer.
So Greer to the plate. Greer 1 for 3 in the day with a walk and a base hit, and coming out is Kevin Tyrell, and that may be it here for Flanagan. Greer has had 3 at-bats with the bases loaded this season. He's 1 for 3, and we'll pause here as Chicago will make the pitching change. 7-4 the score. Spartans down, but with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 9th, threatening here to try to even the score, if not take the lead when we return. Well, the Maroons have led in this one since a 6-run top of the first. The Spartans have not let the game get away from him and now have a chance to potentially come even in this one. A pinch runner at first base for the Spartans as Tyler Stilson will check out of the game. And taking over first as a pinch runner will be Elijah Sledge, representing the potential game-tying run. So as much, I'm sure, if you're Coach Englander, as you hate to get Stilson out of the game, you do in this situation bring in a speedy runner as the trailing runner here, representing that potential game-tying run. In the meantime, the new pitcher on the mound is Grant Tenuta. He's a junior out of Orland Park, Illinois, Carl Sandburg High School. 6'1", 200 pounds. Last season, Tenuta, 11 appearances out of the bullpen, an ERA of 9.35. This year, he's 1-1 through 10 appearances with an ERA of 8.04. He did not pitch against the Spartans last season in the 4-game series. As a first-year pitcher, he did make an appearance against the Spartans, went 2 innings, scoreless, struck out 3, walked 1. And so this will be Tucker Greer at the plate to face Tenuta with 1 out and the bases loaded. First pitch, and it swung on and fouled back. Greer did not miss that by much. 0-1 the count. Greer with a base hit already today. In the dirt, 1-1. So the pressure on here. Eli Westrick out on deck hoping to get a shot as well, and Westrick has 3 hits to his name today. Spartans trying to pull a victory from the jaws of defeat here. And that one swung on, grounded down the line, foul. Foul ball. No call was made by the home plate umpire. I do think it was foul, but the home plate umpire just didn't make a call on that one. And so it's 1-2 on Greer. So 1-2. Greer will try to settle himself in here behind in the count. The potential game-tying runs are on the base pass. Go-ahead run at the plate for the Spartans in the bottom of the ninth. Tenuta comes set on the mound. The 1-2. Up high, 2-2. Spartans have out-hit Chicago 9-5 today, but trail by 3. 2-2. And it's hit foul. Another one wasted away by Greer. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And another one fouled off. Good slider there that broke back over the inside corner, and Greer had to waste it away to stay alive. Two to the count. Outside corner, called strike 3. Too good to look at with 2 strikes, and that'll be the second out. So 2 away now for Eli Westrick, who will try to keep the game going. Westrick with 3 hits today, including a double down the left field line his last time up. Spartans down to their final out. First pitch. Up and in, ball 1. James O'Connor drew a 1-out walk. He's at third. Arterburn was followed by a hit by pitch. He's at second. Tyler Stilson singled to load the bases, was pinch run for by Elijah Sledge, who stands at first. The pitch. Inside, 2-0 on Westrick. Westrick has his average up to a team-high 349 for the season. Looking to get one big hit here. They're shifting him towards right, which is a smart move, but there's a lot of room to work with in left center. Taking all the way on 2-0 and takes the breaking ball at the top of the zone, 2-1 the count. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And inside, ball 3, 3-1. You need to be careful here if you're Tenuta. You can't give Westrick too good a pitch to hit, but you also can't walk him in this situation and put the potential game-tying run into scoring position. A tough spot indeed is the 3-1, and the fastball at the knees for a called strike, through full count 3-2. So with the count full, the bases loaded, the runners will get the early start. Important with Sledge, who has great speed at first base. If a ball finds a gap, it should tie the game. 3-2, 2 away. The payoff pitch on the way to Westrick. Runners go. Westrick hits in the air. Deep towards left field. Back at the wall. Looking up. It's off the base of the wall. The Spartans will tie the game. 3 runs will score. Westrick digging for third. Here comes the throw. Not in time. A game tying. 2 out, 3-2 triple for Eli Westrick, and it's 7-7. Oh, my. Eli Westrick, his 4th hit of the game, and boy, does he cash in for the Spartans. It ties the game at 7.
Second baseman, number 21, Calvin Gelly.
So the Spartans have tied it and now have a chance to take the lead, and the first pitch to Gelly is up and in, ball 1. So after trailing 6-0 after half an inning, the Spartans have now evened the score at 7-7. And a chance to win it now in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-0. Up and in, and it hit his bat. It hit Gelly's bat. He could not get the bat out of the way, and instead of 2-0, it's a 1-1 count. So Calvin Gelly, a chance to win it on a walk-off hit. Two very wild pitches, notable with Westrick, the game-winning run at third, and that one's wild. Here comes Westrick, and the Spartans will win. The Spartans win the game. What a wild and crazy win in the ninth for the Spartans, who walk it off on the game-winning wild pitch. Case Western Reserve University wins 8-7 the final score. Down to their final out, and it implodes for Chicago after loading the bases. 2 outs, a game-tying triple for Eli Westrick, who later scores the game-winning run on a walk-off wild pitch on a wet and wild day in Cleveland. The University of Chicago drops to 11-13 with the loss. Case Western Reserve improves to 15-12 with the win. In conference play, Chicago falls to 4-5 on the year, while the Spartans also improve to 4-5. The winning pitcher, that's Oliver Miller. Miller, who did great work in relief today, improves on the season to 2-0. No save in the game. The loss goes to Grant Tenuta. Tenuta on the season will fall to 1-2. I want to thank everyone once again for joining us. A reminder that we'll have the second and third games of the series tomorrow. That's scheduled for a noon start here in Cleveland. I want to thank everyone for joining us again. We'll see you tomorrow. Final score in walk-off fashion. The Spartans win 8-7 the final.